Welcome back, everybody, to edition number 2 for the Steyr MF A2. Now, this gun came to me courtesy of Steyr, and it's got to go back. So I've been kind of playing around with it for a while and just kind of messing around with it, thinking, boy, this gun is really just pretty darn sweet. There's so many good features of this gun that I went over in the first video, so please check that out. But ultimately, what this video is really about is what are my overall, or I should say, my final impressions about this gun. This gun has really surprised me in some ways and then not surprised me in others. So let's talk about the overall shooting experience, which to me is what everybody's interested in, because obviously any gun you buy, you want to be able to shoot it and know that it's going to be reliable. So I took 250 rounds just for this gun by itself today. I actually took another firearm with me that I had more ammunition for, but because this is not my gun, I didn't really want to invest too much ammunition in it, but I felt 250 rounds is a good amount in regards to this handgun. Now, what are my thoughts about it? First off, I am not surprised at all on how well this gun felt in the hand. I mean, ergonomically, they definitely have changed this up a little bit. And again, it boils down to the actual grips. Now, I use the medium-sized backstrap and then the 2 flat panels. And I have to say, it just felt very comfortable in my hand. There really was nothing to complain about in regards to the way it felt. The angle is about the same as the old models, the M series and the L series, but I will tell you that in regards to how this felt on the initial shots, it actually felt like this gun didn't necessarily need to be adjusted. What you're going to find is when you shoot a Steyr, you tend to have to kind of aim a little bit downward. And what I mean by that is you have to straighten out your wrist, because the way this ergonomically fits in your hand, it makes you kind of adjust. It's almost like a Glock angle, but a little bit more dramatic. So as a result, what I did notice when I shot it for the first time was that I didn't really have to do much in regards to altering where I was pointing the handgun. The trapezoidal sights are just really, really good. I absolutely love this setup. I think they're very, very intuitive to use. There's always going to be people who kind of complain about the sights, saying that they really don't work for them. But honestly, guys, I've never seen that as a problem. I think it's very quick acquisition, and I just think it works really well. One of the things that maybe I would change, if I could change this, would be to maybe, I guess, make this a little bit smaller so you get a little bit more wind or air in between your rear post and your front. But other than that, it is pretty spot on. You know, what I was doing was trying to get a feel for how the gun was shooting and where it needed to be aimed. Again, it is a new gun, even though I have shot Steyrs considerably. It is different. I mean, the grip felt different in the hand. In regards to the texture, guys, it is a much needed improvement on this handgun. This gun did not slip out of my hand, not one time. Didn't feel like it was going to. The bite of this gun with the backstrap and also on the grip texturing is just the right combination. It's absolutely perfect. In regards to these little cutouts here, where my support hand was going and my support thumb, I had no problem kind of, I guess you could say, just wedging my finger on there. I never had a problem with the slide not locking back. No weird trajectory in regards to the way the shells were ejecting from the handgun. I only took one to the forehead in regards to a casing, but other than that, it was fairly positive and a very good, strong ejection of the cartridges, or I should say the shells. So, I mean, overall, there doesn't seem to be much wrong with this gun. I mean, it performed just like I knew it would. It is just a really awesome handgun. It is not a surprise. I mean, it's almost, and how do I say this without sounding like I'm insulting it? But the gun is so good to shoot. It's almost like it's boring. Like, you don't really have to do much to adjust. You know, my first several shots that I shot were kind of a little erratic. But again, anytime I have a new gun in my hand and I'm kind of just working it out, it's going to take me a couple of rounds to really sync with the gun. So in this case, it didn't take too long. You know, the first, I think, 20 rounds I put through were kind of erratic, some shots to the middle. But I mean, overall, the gun shot well, and I have no complaints. And I'm not surprised by that, because to me, the Steyr is probably one of the best handguns out on the market. With this introduction to this pistol, I think they have a knockout punch. I really do. And especially if they come out with different sizes. I think if they can get this down to a smaller frame with a smaller slide, let's say an S9 type of variant, I think that will sell like hotcakes. The gun does not feel overwhelmingly thick in regards to how it feels in your hand. And it just ergonomically, to me, is probably the best gun on the market. Trigger-wise, the trigger pull was good. I mean, again, it's a standard trigger. And again, there's no magazine. It's clear. But the trigger was good. Not surprised by that. It's very, very light. It's very smooth. Not a very tactile reset at all. However, I had no problem shooting this rapidly. And again, I think overall, and I'm going to zoom in so you guys can take a better look at this gun, but I think overall, if you choose to go with a Steyr, I think many of you are going to be quite excited for this handgun. I think it meets a lot of criteria for people because it is a carryable handgun. It does have the long slide. It's got the nice Picatinny rail. More importantly, it's got a solid trigger. This thing is built like a tank. It's very robust in regards to the way it's built. This extra beaver tail just allows it to sit better in the hand, and it just absorbs more recoil than the L9 does, at least in my opinion. And that's including with the brass insert and the guide rod. So I can only imagine what this would be like with the Ranger Point Precision brass and the DPMS Systems guide rod in it. I think it would even fire even flatter than it did today. So, I mean, overall, do I think the MF A2 is something you should probably consider buying? Yes, but I wanted to throw this caveat out there to all of you. I am extremely biased. I love Steyr handguns. I think they make great guns. I think they're, in my opinion, in a league of their own in regards to ergonomics. And I think because they've redesigned this so well, I really think they're going to do very well with this handgun. At least I hope so. So again, guys, I hope to hear what you have to say. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I think, I tried to make this quicker, more so that people could actually watch the entire video this time as opposed to the 20-minute plus video I made before. But I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Tell me, what are your final thoughts about this Steyr? Are you excited to be seeing this? I mean, I just think the way the hand fits on here, even the support hand with this little lip at the bottom, very Glock 19X-ish. I just think it's such a great build, and I really do hope that this passes for a lot of people in their collections. So I'd love to hear what you have to say. Tell me what you think down in the comment section below. And as always, everyone, I hope you have a great week. Hope you enjoyed the 4th of July. And as always, everyone, as I say at the end of every video, freedom is never free.